Hello, my little nerds and nerdettes. Please join us for another episode of
Dungeon
Krawlers.
Krawlers! Holy shit.
The fuck was that?
Who summoned the demon?
Either one, there was a demon that was summoned, or somebody has to shit. I'm not 100%.
Or maybe both.
Anyway,
A
yeah,
little bit of column A, a little bit of
I
column
was gonna
B.
say it depends. God, we
Who says I
had to
don't
take.
summon a demon when I shit?
I mean, it depends. Have you ever seen what's that funny movie where they do that and there's like the flies and everything, and you think he's doing the exorcism, and then all of a sudden it's just him on the pot, just like releasing an absolute demon. Anyways,
He's
We-
exercising in a particular way.
bear
All his
with
own.
us. We've we've had
Bear
a
with us. Any viewer that we had has already left.
then we're doing it right. I mean, one, we love you guys, but two, this is for us, not you.
Yeah, we just stream the game so that other
Save
people
'em.
can watch it. But if we are all together and we can't stream, we're still gonna play.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
Sorry.
I
They'll
think
see
some
it
of
on
I
YouTube
think some
later.
of our best
Fuck.
some of our best stuff was the stuff that we just recorded, like those first like 15-ish
Oh
episodes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was some fuckery that happened.
Oh yeah.
There
I
was
think it's
some
like the pressure of the
fuckery.
There's no pressure to like entertain live viewers, you know what I mean?
Well, did we? I don't remember if this got recorded or not, but Morn's binge drinking, pass out,
Yes.
beer,
it did.
bar hop. Did that get recorded?
That got recorded. That
I'm
was
pretty
not
sure I listened to
streamed.
that.
Wasn't
Yep.
streamed. It was recorded.
Oh no, so never mind.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
I think
recorded
that-
it. I recorded it. So it
that
got
was the
put on
night he
YouTube.
Well, did
tried
it go
to
to
get-
YouTube though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
'cause I think that was the night that Morn tried to get Kalen to drink. Kalen didn't want to drink, and then got upset with Kalen for not drinking with
Right.
him. So then he went on a fucking bender.
Well, remember
was-
he left the keg
I
on
left
the
the big
steps of
keg
the
right
temple.
Yeah.
outside the doorstep.
And he got super upset, and then you went on like a fucking bender, and you were like,
He left in
because you
somebody's
failed.
backyard.
Yeah, because he failed a bunch of saves and was like passing out in back
I
of
was
people's
so drunk I
yard.
couldn't figure out how to get back to the home, so I just had to sleep in like
Some
a
random
drop.
person's backyard.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
you wound up. I think you wound up. I think I had you roll, and you ended up winding up next to a dog, like you guys were cuddling or some shit. I don't remember.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds
There
right.
was some pure fuckery that happened, and then there
That's
was
pretty on brand for Warren.
yeah. I mean, there was that, and then there was the drug binge in the fucking
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the cave.
in the
Duck.
cave. Yep.
Oh, and then we had the one shot of us having that funky dream
Yep.
from being on drugs. That was
Yeah.
fucking good.
That shit was whack.
Yeah, you guys went on
Oh,
a
what was
fucking.
that shit called again? What was it called?
Oh, I don't remember. Oh,
Scorpion tail.
Scorpion tail.
Scorpion
Yeah.
tail. That was the shit, bro.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised we haven't found any of that this campaign yet.
Oh,
Unfortunate.
It
banned
might
in
be labeled. Well, it might be labeled something different. You don't know.
True, could go by a different name.
Might be a more controlled
The
substance.
absinthe before they
You know,
fixed
some
it.
people call it Everclear. Some people call it drinking straight alcohol.
Some people call it
Yep.
gasoline. I mean, you
Some
go
people
there.
To each their own.
I mean, exactly. Teach their own.
Mouthwash.
But welcome back. We had a huge hiatus. Lots of people going on vacations, getting free, getting away. We had some mishaps. People getting sick, unable to, meet up. We had a one shot in between that was run by our Mr. Treble over here. Which went. I mean, I had a blast. I was actually kind of sad we weren't able to make a second session work, but it is what it
We
is.
still can at some point. I'd
Yeah,
love
I
to revisit
mean-
that.
I have to get back in the mood of my character, though. But yeah, welcome back. The party is in Molten Hammer Keep. Quick recap. You've finally made it to Molten Hammer. You guys have kind of been perusing about. You've learned that the top kind of like rated blacksmith, kind of everybody knows them and the work that this individual has done for some reason is closed. Closed shop. Doesn't look like anybody's been there in a while. Harold Bean was the runner or the owner of this
Beanworks.
building, Beanworks, but seems to have gotten put out of business several months back by a Vivex blade that seems to have taken over, closed up shop, forced them out of business. You're unsure. Um, and so, some of you guys are perusing that. Others of the party have made their way around the ring and have located kind of the fighting pits or the training pits or some religion that seems to be based off of combat, where some savory looking characters are, and a older an older an older knoll is hanging out, whereas others have taken off to see the sporting events that the city has to offer. And that's kind of where we left off.
Who's
And
gonna pick it up? Who gets
Yeah, Ginge,
who gets the talking girl first?
I think at the end of last session, you hit there was a blue team and a red team. And one of the teams was like up like I think 2 goals over the other team.
correct?
Yes.
Do you remember which team was winning?
I'm going to be honest and say I don't remember. And
Which team was
two,
winning?
we are just going to roll for it.
Yep.
Blue team, blue team, blue team.
I think it was blue team was winning because everyone was cheering for the blue team.
And my children have stolen my dice.
Son of a bitch.
It's been recently they have been perusing through my man cave and I'm losing things. Let's see here. All right, D6 even blue, odd is red. Roll. It is a 6. So the blue team is up 2 goals.
Are there people around us that are placing bets or anything of the sort? Or
Make
can
a
I just
perception
like,
check.
or maybe I can just like call out to anyone like nearby? I'll just shout out. How much for a bet on red team?
Make a perception check.
Anyone? Okay. Perception.
Yeah. I should probably stop building my world. Where was I? There we are. We'll go back to here.
I'm low number characters.
No worries. I was
What are
trying
the odds
to...
on blue?
I'm gonna like
5
kind
to
of like.
1.
Oh, one sec, patience.
Oh, yeah.
I'm willing to bet on the red team. Anyone willing to bet? Anyone willing to take that bet?
You see... did you roll
My
patience?
character sheet's not loading.
Oh.
Hold on.
You good?
Can anyone see my character sheet? Or do I have it? For some
Negative.
reason it's not loading. I don't know my
13.
Patience Nova. Yeah, I can't for some reason see
I can
that
only
one.
see mine
13.
and patience.
Let's just say you do see an individual, a stout dwarf, with a big long ponytail tucked back, very greasy looking. That seems to be taking kind of bets from both sides. You see he's got like 2 bands on, like one red and one blue, right and left, and he's looks like he's kind of like doing things back and forth, and he's talking to a smaller gnome individual that's writing a bunch of stuff down on paper.
Yeah, I'll make my way over.
Okay. Do you speak Dwarven?
I do not.
Okay. Well, right now you do. All you hear is Dwarven.
Okay.
And you hear conversations. You do hear some common in between it. So possibly speaks common, but right now you hear dwarven, and then little things are being written down. He's going back and forth, grabbing money, holding on to things, taking names, jotting down bets.
I'm here to bet on the red team. Care to take that bet?
You want red? You want red? Okay, the odds are 4-1. 4-1. Do you want it? Do you want in? You want to win? You want in?
Oh,
Yeah,
go
what about
on.
blue?
There's not much time left. 5-1, I got a bet, but
Hey, I mean, you gotta take with it. You gotta take it. You gotta the game. It's almost over, and the blue team is still there. Really good. You know. Yeah.
10 for blue to win.
Okay,
No,
10
no.
for a name. Okay, what is your name? What is your name? Quickly. Come on,
patience,
quickly.
patience. I'm gonna pull on Patience's arm like I pulled away from the.
And like they wave you off, and you hear the shouting in the background, and you can hear like more things are happening, and then as you guys look up, you do see the red team does score a goal, so now it is 2-1.
What is it?
I was going to influence. Well, I can see things happening. I bet on the red team. But how much gold you got?
Plenty.
Fuck are my dice?
Sophia's gonna kind of like put out her hand.
There we go.
Do you trust me?
Do you trust me?
Red's not my color, but fine.
She'll hand you 10 gold.
I'll hand the guy 20 gold, 4-1 on the red team.
Red to win? Red to win? Okay. What's your name?
Rayla.
Oh, hey, Rayla? Okay, Rayla. He starts speaking in Dwarven to the individual next to him, and the gnome jots your name down, and you see the odds kind of go in. So we'll see. The game goes on. Okay.
I'm gonna wait for an important moment in the game, Ginge.
I know what you're
Kinda.
gonna do.
And I'm gonna as red team's gonna make a nice, interesting play. I'm gonna have them roll a nat 20 on their
we
athletics
go.
or whatever check.
All right,
looking for-
Hermione. What the fuck is this shit?
All right. Hey.
That's divination wizard, baby.
No.
All right. Okay, so blue team's got the ball.
They roll a 7 on their check.
They roll a 7. Okay. Red rolled 14. So the ball gets kicked down. Blue, one of the stouter midline players, kind of a heavy guy, dressed in a bunch of armor spikes, and he's holding these 2 gloves. He looks to be what they call a brawler. He's kind of mid-court. His goal is to basically get the ball passed off to some of the slimmer guys and carve the way. He gets the ball, and as he does, you move him to a 7. As he goes to pass the ball behind him to one of his smaller running guys, one of the sleeker guys, he kicks it off the heel instead, and it kind of bounces back in a weird direction, giving the red team a chance as one of their sleeker members kind of runs through the whole pack and snags the ball, and now it's a 1-on-2 scenario as he kind of beelines it past the mid guy, and now he's making his way towards the other end of the court to shoot.
He rolls a nat 20.
Oh, so he goes in and out. You see like a bunch of play. He kind of does this like kicks up into the air like hacky sack style, bounces off of an elbow, and as he bounces off the elbow, one of the tackler comes in and goes for like a full like double leg takedown to just like absolutely take this guy out. And at the last second, you watch as he hits the ball with an elbow, and then takes the back of his elbow, grabs this other dwarf by the back of his ponytail, and just like back arms him, shoves him to the ground, and makes kind of like a twirl, and continues the run down the court towards the other end. And now it's him versus the goalie. Nat 20 for red. Red jukes left, and then off of the back heel of his right foot, he like hits it, bounces it off the corner of a post up on a wall and then down into the goal. And you watch as everybody, oh, and you just hear like the betting corner that you guys are standing close to. You just hear a bunch of the people that must have been betting on red, like begins like a bunch of noise, and people are continuing their bets and they're ramping up now. So now ball starts center court, a tie game, 1 minute left. Ball drops. Blue. Natural 20. Blue grabs as the ball comes down, and the other guy goes to make his play to knock it back towards his teammate. You watch as the armored blue dwarf leans forward and kind of like knocks the end of his boot together, and you watch as I don't know how to explain it. Like a hook pops out of the bottom of his boot, and he sticks it into the bottom of the other person's boot, and you watch as like the whole boot kind of gets like sliced and ripped off, and like knees him in the crotch as he comes down. And the blue team is on the advantage now. They're going down mid-court.
Oh no, we're out of portent rolls.
It's blue on red. Blue passes the first defender as the first defender tries to jump towards him and grab him mid-shoulders and tear him to the ground, but one of the thicker brawlers comes in from the left and just last second cold clocks one of the individuals right across the face, and you watch as like a spray mist of blood kind of comes out of this like little half mask that they wear. And now it's a 2-on-1 against the goalie as the individual in the red drops down. Oh shit. I'm gonna drop all my dice, I'll re-roll that.
Sophia has like her hands like almost covering her eyes.
It's a nail biter.
Blue comes into the left, janks it to the right, shoots it off of the back of the foot and kind of off of one of their knees, knocks it to the other blue team member. He catches it midair, hits on his elbow, hits on the other elbow, and then uses his elbow to slap the ball towards the ground, and then like a kicks it on the bottom of his foot so it bounces, and as it bounces up, the other defender jumps midair and just spikes it with a fist down into the ground, and it bounces through the goalie's legs and scores with 2 seconds to remain. 3.
So wait, did we lose?
Sophia lets out some words you've probably not heard her say in a long time.
3 seconds
Oh.
remaining. The ball drops. Last second for them to catch and try and shoot. No, 8 and a 10. The ball drops, and with 3 seconds to remaining, they try to make a Hail Mary play as the red team goes to grab the ball and tries to shoot it towards the far end of the court. The blue team members, they form a triangle, and they basically bum rush the individual who goes to catch the ball, and all three of them jump on this guy and just hammer away so he can't kick the ball out to anything. Game ends. Oh, no, and you just hear a bunch of dwarven individuals.
I knew
going
we should have
back
bet
and
on
forth.
blue. Come on.
Good try.
Telling you, blue is my color.
I'm gonna use that dice.
Oh,
So I
damn it.
rolled a bunch of nat 20s.
What'd you say?
I said I rolled a bunch of
Not
nat
believe
20s.
it.
I'm gonna use that die.
I swear I saw it so up on. Oh, I shouldn't have trusted it. It showed the skull at the end there. It didn't show that last part. Well, sometimes magic fucks you in the ass.
Yee.
And not in the fun way.
Sophia's like more upset by this than she's probably been after most of our like tough fights, and it's just kind of like, you know, she's like nudging into people on purpose and like being super rude on the way out.
You watch as
Aw.
you guys are exiting the kind of like arena. Like everybody, the people who are getting paid are they're collecting their earnings now, and you watch as they're like walking by, and they're like like groups of them are like talking to each other, and they're like all giddy and happy. And she's like that person that's like purposely walking by people, and she's doing like that, like throwing her
Yep,
she, like shoulders
exactly.
into people, and they're like looking at her as this like skinny girl is just walking by, just like fucking bitches.
She's like a good foot shorter than all of them.
Well, I don't know. A lot of them are dwarves, so you're probably
Oh,
a
that's
foot
true.
taller than a lot of them.
that's
Like
true. Yeah.
98% of them are dwarves and gnomes, and you're just like,
Right into their
like
face.
walking,
Yeah.
and they're just kind of like looking up at you as you walk by, all pissed off. So, the game ends. People disperse from the arena. You hear some other you hear some other announcements or whatever's being made in Dwarven. Yeah, that's the end of the match.
I mean, you usually write about this stuff. Hello. Am I audible?
Mm-hmm.
Are you Audible? I didn't know you were an audiobook company.
No. As Sophia just kind of like walks ahead of you, head down, shouldering people as you continue walking. What are the rest of the group doing? I know Axel and Nova, you guys were scoping things out and kind of walking around. Are you guys doing anything else? Right now, you guys were standing out in front of the Black Ore. Yes.
We had just left. In fact, I had stormed out because he was tight-lipped and refused to give anything about Vivex Blade.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed.
I tried tapping his mind. I tried like persuading him a little bit.
He seemed very hesitant. Just kind of
didn't want to
wanted to ignore just wanted to ignore the topic.
Yeah, so we're probably staying out front. When Axel joins me, I'd be like, well, do you want to make the trek up to the north end and check this Vivex Blade place out, or would you rather wait?
Absolutely. I need to see what we're dealing with here.
I agree. Something odd going on. And I'll start walking north. And it sounds like we're a little ways off, because I think we're on the west side.
You're on the far west side. Beans Works was on the far east side, and Vivex Blades in the direct north.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Correct.
So we'll start the trek north.
Okay. Oh, man. KB?
I think as I was leaving the guy, I was trying to find my way to the arena. So I'll just work my way there. I think there was some discussion on whether I would make it before the match would end or maybe right as it was ending. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think when I leave there, I knew that Sophia and them were going to the match, so I just will work my way over there.
Okay. We'll kind of rewind a little bit because you would have been having all of this happen while the match was happening. You do manage to get instructions. You do manage to get kind of guided towards there. You show up right as everything is kind of ending and people are dispersing. So everybody's getting paid. It's kind of like right after a baseball game, football game. You're pulling into the parking lot as everybody's trying to leave.
Yeah, I'll just try to see if I can see Patience or Sophia. Yeah, like if I'm like in a walkway where people are walking out, I'll probably stop, swimming upstream and just wait and just watch people as they come out and see if I can spot them.
Okay, make a perception check.
Okay.
Also, I missed all you fuckers, so just saying.
I gotta remember how multiverse works. They're not alphabetical here, which throws me off, right? Perception's a P.
PB. Oof.
4.
Yeah.
4.
It's kind of hard not to miss the 2 tall people among the crowd of, dwarfs and gnomes, but you managed to do that. It just, you kind of get swept away in the crowd that is the dwarves and the gnomes. You've never really been in a crowd or somewhere where like 90-ish% of everybody that's walking is at the same height as you.
Yeah.
So it kind of throws you off, because you're trying to look for your tall friends, and everybody's the same damn height, and for some reason, it just really, really throws you off.
Yeah, I think if I get kind of, obviously some people will stay back, but if I get to where the bulk of people have kind of made their way past me, I think I just follow them back to the inn that we were staying at. I would think, hey, eventually we'll all end back up here, so that kind of makes sense. I didn't really have any other business in this town, so I'll head there to see who shows up.
Okay. And right now you're kind of in the north, so it takes a little bit to get back to the inn that you guys were staying at in the kind of east part of the town. But if that's what you're gonna do, it doesn't take you horribly long, but it takes a little bit because the match ends at this arena, and everybody's trying to get on the tram basically to go back to wherever it is that they want to go. So I guess
if you've ever like leave a place and it's like a little bit early to go home, but maybe too late to do a new thing, so you're just kind of like, I'm not in a hurry. I'm just slowly making my way back there. Yeah.
Yep. So no big deal. I mean, do you speak Dwarven? I don't think you do.
I don't. I speak Gnomish, but not Dwarven.
You do pick up some small conversations on the way back, mostly conversations about kind of the state of Molten Hammer, the rising issue with tools and certain other items. The prices are kind of going up. And then the conversation kind of switches to Dwarvish, and you get a little sidetracked trying to pick up whatever conversation you heard. But you do hear something about rising prices. That's what happens when, there's one person running the whole thing, and, when the market's oversaturated, like whatever. Kind of a bummer. Haven't seen too many tourists lately.
Yeah.
Something about tram. Something about tram 13.
Yeah, I see you playing into KB's antitrust sentimentality.
I would never do that ever to you.
I know which tram would be 13.
You do not.
It's not the one that we took to get there. Actually, I didn't. I walked the long way there, so I didn't.
The only thing you know is this is considered the inner city tram. It seems like there's we'll say that you guys got a generic rundown. So each one of the rings is set up in a circle, and in the center of the circle is kind of like a giant it's like a bunch of pipes. So it's where you kind of see all the lava kind of flows, and then there's like a bunch of steam pipes. It's basically, consider it like the God damn it, what am I trying to think? The it's like the electrical grid of the city. The very center is kind of like this almost like pillar or um like giant. It almost looks like like a million straws that are tied together. And you just see like
Wow.
lava in some, others are closed pipe, which you're assuming is probably steam of some sort, and then they go to all these different, they go throughout the city, they go to these like stations that pump them out to elsewhere to basically like fuel houses, um, but on the outer rings against the wall, there's actually set numbered trams that take you in different directions. So I'm just going to say, for instance, tram 1 might be on the farthest most west side of the ring, and it will take you like out and down the mountains and over to say like like a portion of the Sog Marsh, like way the fuck out there. Or 2 might take you all the way to like Sargos or something like that. Like each one of these trams, they have them kind of laid out, and they take you different places, like as far as maybe like a tram, maybe a tram got made that goes underground that takes you like all the way to Alart type stuff. Like, you don't know. Some of them run on the outside and on top of the mountains. Others run down and in through the mountain and run off into, say, like mithril mines or shit like that. And there are certain
Yeah.
trams that the public aren't allowed to be in because they're owned by specific noble families, the royal family. Like maybe they're used for like military, or maybe they're used to go to like special diamond mines, mithril mines. You're not certain. So
Hmm.
that's
Okay.
what you get on that.
Yeah, I think I'll still make my way back to the end. I'll just make a mental note, see if I can hear anything else about number 13.
Okay. Axel and Nova. While this is happening, oh, actually, Sophia, and Patience, are you guys leaving and heading back to the inn, or are you guys going to do anything else?
I was thinking we were just gonna hop on train 13 and head back to the inn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna jump on the inner circle tram,
Yeah,
basically.
I'm not looking specifically for train 13.
Well,
Just
tram
whatever
13 is somewhere else.
Yeah, no, but that's the one that everyone's getting on, heading back to the inn. Same direction we came.
Sounds good. So you guys head on that and kind of start making your way back. It takes you the better part of probably, I would say, like an hour. Nova and Axel, as you guys try to make your way to the north, a huge influx and crowd of people are making their way from somewhere back to their inns, back to jobs, back to, you're not certain, but you have a hell of a time getting on the tram that takes you to the north, and you just have a hell of a time getting on. Like, it takes you like 3 or 4 tries just to get on the tram because it gets so packed.
Yep.
Where the hell are all these people coming from?
I don't know. Maybe some type of event just ended.
Lucky us.
But it does take you the better part of an hour, and you exit. You exit the tram to the right, which takes you kind of directly along the outer circle. And you do see immediately to your right, you see like a bunch of businesses, and then farther out, you see kind of like a praying individual with a sword and shield, and you see like some people entering, like coming and going, that seem to be dressed in like these white cloak type deals. And then far kind of like out on the outskirts of your distance, you see a huge brightly lit building, like gaudy brightly lit building that seems to have like a bunch of like flashing lights and stupid shit.
Do we have a sense that we know what this building is, Ginge?
What, the very flashy,
Yeah.
gaudy? No.
I'm like, is this our destination, I wonder? Or this is... Or, the tram's still going? It's still moving past it? No, it stops here. Okay.
It stops here.
Oh,
So
okay.
the stop. It's like the station.
Great. I bet this... So I'm gonna say, wouldn't that be interesting if this theme park looking place is exactly where we're looking to go?
Very interesting.
Talk about showboating. I'm gonna approach the building to get a sense of what it is.
Okay. Hum. I got to make sure I have all of my fucking stuff. I gotta find my notes on something real quick. I'm very sorry. I'm very unorganized.
I'm very unorganized.
There we go. Found it. Sounds good. You begin to walk towards the main building. This gaudy giant building. And oof, my stomach just fucking took a hip hoppity hop. Where is Rothos? Okay. To your right, you see a kind of like a white marbled building. And the white marbled building has these two giant doors and has two individuals to the left and the right, both dwarven, holding these kind of giant axes, heavily shielded, like big muscular arms, forearms, and they're just standing at both sides of the door. To the left and the right, you see almost like drop downs off of the main steps. And there's like a big gate in between the main street and this giant like temple building type deal. And to the right and the left of these like center stairways, you see like a 4-foot drop down and into this like giant pit of like white sand. And you see individuals that are there's half elves, there's dwarves, gnomes, some humans, and you see them in kind of these like white tunics with bright red cords wrapped around their their waists. And they're like, you know, they have like variations of weapons. Some have two-handed swords, but I mean all training weapons. They have two-handed swords. They have sword and shield. They have mace. They have double dagger. Some knives, and they all seem to be training. Some are wearing, you know, nothing but like heavily like leathered gauntlets, and they seem to be punching these bags. Looks to be some kind of like a training temple of some sort. Roll a perception check. Frosty.
Oh.
Sorry, Axel. Jesus.
Natural 20 for 25.
Oh, he sees
25.
everything.
Yeah. For some reason, your eyes are pulled towards this, just because, you know, people training, weaponry, different forms, different styles. It's very, very, very intriguing. And you kind of take like a second where, you know, um, Nova, it's like one of those things where you're like in a Disneyland or a Disney park, and like you're talking to your kids and you're still walking, but that kid's like, oh, there's candy, and they like stop and like stare in that general direction and even take like a couple steps forward, and you're still walking, like talking to yourself, not realizing they stopped.
So I'll notice that I'll just like be like looking and walking, and then I'll just kind of like look to my side where I usually would see him and notice he's not there, and I'll just do like a what? I'll just quickly
Yeah,
like turn around.
he's stopped like 20 paces back and took like 3 steps towards this giant building. Because what you notice is a knoll sitting in the sand, legs crossed, like he's on his knees, like legs crossed, sitting on his heels in the sand, just like back to you, like sitting in front of this one of these giant statues with a like a bowl of black liquid sitting in front of him.
I'll quickly walk towards Axel to see what he's so enamored with.
Would I recognize this individual? Probably not.
No.
Okay.
The individual is a a dark black haired gnoll, but over time, even from this distance, you have pretty good eyesight. From this distance, the black hair is more gray at this point. The portions of the body are the hair is kind of missing, and you see like heavy scars throughout the portions of the body. The body is extremely like elongated features. You're a little more stocky. This is almost like elongated features, very skinny, very lean, but something like in the back of your mind, the back of your neck tells you danger. Like danger, 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 danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Danger, danger.
Stranger danger.
I'm gonna walk up next to him and look
And what
look
you
at what he's
noticed,
looking at, and
what you noticed, Nova, walking up to one of your friends, and I'm not gonna make you roll because you've been around Axel long enough to know the cackles on the back of his neck. Hackles.
he's cackling.
His cackles, the hackles, and kind of the fur and portions of the body are not like fully standing up, but they're standing up, and the ears are not fully up. They're kind of like backwards tilted a little bit, and he just seems to be very attentively staring in one direction.
I'm gonna look at him with concern and put my hand on his shoulder. Hey, do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know him?
No, and I don't want to.
I'm gonna kind of raise an eyebrow at him and be confused, like, kind of questioning. There's gonna be more of an expression on my face, like, why? And then I'm gonna look at the individual that he was looking at and kind of stare at him for a moment. And then, after a couple moments pass and I kind of stare at his back, I'm gonna try and can't even remember what my spells and shit are called anymore. The thing I do.
Detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts. I'm like trying to find it. Like, what the fuck is it called anymore? I'm gonna try to detect thoughts surface.
Detect thoughts. THOTS.
Yar.
Thought detected.
Thought detected.
You go to
Shit,
detect
thought.
thoughts.
Yeah, surface.
You're blocked.
No fucking way.
Mm-hmm. And you see one of the ears twitch up, and you kind of see the head like tilt off to the side.
Aw.
How loud? How loud?
As I see him do that, I'm gonna like this is like a very uncharacteristic move for Axel. He actually like sort of like tries to hide behind you.
Oh no.
And you hear What?
Oh, that was pretty good, Gent.
You won't come and talk to me? In a very deep, raspy voice.
I'm gonna look behind me at Axel and mind link with him. I don't even know how he knows, but I just tried to surface level figure out what he was thinking about, and apparently he felt that. I didn't get anything though. Should we leave?
Yeah, all the more reason we should just move on.
I'm not gonna even hesitate, and I'm just gonna start walking away.
The individual is standing on the other side of this giant like marbled like pillars with like picketed fence. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Like like the giant like old school marbled walls like fences that's got like the metal bars and shit in between.
Like
Now,
wrought iron fence.
thank you.
Is he like behind it? Like, is he trapped?
Yes.
He's trapped?
No, it's
Oh.
just like a wall surrounding like a monastery or like a building
Oh,
or
okay,
you know what I mean?
gotcha. Yeah.
Now this individual is standing. He seemed to have covered that distance in a matter of like, and now is standing on the other side of this wrought iron fence.
I'm gonna feel a shiver go up my spine as I continue walking.
What? I'm just an old man, and you won't come and say anything to me. What? Afraid, little puppy?
I'm just walking. I'm just continuing to walk.
Yeah,
Afraid you are.
I'm taking Axel's lead here. I'm not super thrilled with what this guy is saying, but based on
Do you turn and look at
Axel's-
him?
I mean, I'm gonna
Do you
glance
turn-
at. I'm gonna glance at
Okay.
him.
As you turn and you glance, and he says, "That's what I thought, little puppy." He smiles, and you just notice this. When Axel like smiles or when he like eats, he gets a pretty big mouth, but this is like an elongated like big hyena like smile, and he just like does this big grin. And turns around and walks back and sits in the stand once more.
I'm gonna keep close to Axel and keep walking. Kind of regretting that I even looked back and saw that menacing smile.
I'll see you soon. I would love to talk.
In your dreams. I'm gonna whisper in my breath, far away from him. He's not gonna hear me say that. Or maybe he does. I said it very quietly.
And I should elaborate when I say danger. I don't mean danger as in like monster danger, but just like very,
Warning,
very
warning,
strong
warning,
person.
warning, warning.
Very strong person. You just get vibes.
Warning: if fuck around, we'll find out.
It takes you a
Faffo.
solid 5 or 10 minutes, and the closer you get, the brighter this building becomes. There's like a fucking neon sign every 2 feet. Vivex blade, best ore in town, amazing wear, best bargain prices, shipped in from all across Radar, like all this like just gaudy stuff, and you see
So,
people outside.
The I-40.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
literally like every 5 miles there's a, biggest rock in the world, and come see this moon rock, and oh, the thing, and oh, phantom fireworks, and it's like, jeez. It's just like a little,
You see
bumfuck Egypt, like, town.
incredibly attractive tabaxi females, 2 of them in nothing but bathing suits, standing in the front, like bathing suit style outfits, very very short cut shirt, very low cut and barely holding on to anything tops. And both of them are kind of a like a white gray color. And they are dressed scantily, and they are handing out like coupons or something, and like, you know, trying to hoard people through the front doors.
I'm not super interested. I'm more focusing on Axel right now because I'm a little bit concerned about the individual we just encountered. I'm gonna be like looking at him, waiting for the moment that I can tell maybe he's calmed down a little bit. And when he does, I'm gonna say, is there anything we need to be concerned about with that fellow back there?
I don't know. When I saw him, did I see if he, what's the word, displayed any form of him belonging to a warband? Any insignia?
Didn't get close enough to look.
He rolled a nat 20, Ginge.
Not 20 to see what was in there, but as far as you could tell, you didn't see any markings visible that put him to a warband.
I don't know. He didn't look like he belonged to a warband, but I don't know.
He seemed very taken by you, so I'm just a little worried.
I'm not interested in interacting with any of my kinsmen. Period.
If they're like that, I'm not either. I'm gonna... Feeling a little bit better. I'm gonna approach this ridiculous building that you call a blacksmith. It looks more like a freaking gift shop.
Yeah. Welcome to Vivex Blade. Would you like a sample? Would you like a sample? The one across the way does from her. Please, come on in and enjoy. Yes, enjoy the wares of Vivex Blade.
I'm just gonna kind of furrow my brows and walk through.
Okay. You walk through these two like heavy red and gold like tapestry, like rugs, almost like very, what's the word I'm looking for? You remember like back when you were a lot younger, when you'd go into some of your friends' rooms and they had like the blankets hanging over the doorways with all the fucking the beads, and then you walked in and it was like a stoner's room.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You walk through the beads and it's like you're immediately hit with like
Patchouli
really
smell.
like really strong incense and like bright fucking lights, and there's like lava lamps and shit, like yeah.
Lights.
And you
Excellent.
walk in.
Axel
Yeah.
immediately does that like dog sneeze a few times because
Oh, it's bad.
with his sense of smell, it's probably like burning his nose.
It's like lava in your nose.
No.
It is
Okay, does
it
that-
is so offensive to your nose, Axel. The sneeze doesn't clear shit, and you're doing that like
reverse sneezing that dogs do, where it's just like you sneeze, sneeze.
yeah. Not to mention it's like drying out the inside, so you're doing like that, like, you know, you're trying to like wetting the inside of your nose, so you're like moving it around trying to get it, but it's like so fucking dry and like it's salting the smell, and you're just like ah.
Yeah.
Beyond-
super bright, like everything is incredibly brightly lit. Like incredibly brightly lit.
Beyond the fact that this place is, like I said, a glorified gift shop, knowing how Axel feels about weaponry, I'm gonna literally say out loud, this is a joke.
There's a couple of weapons to your left and your right as you walk in. You see like cabinets and like glass tables with the wares like out, and you do see like some well, God, I can't think today, guys. Not bookshelves, but like, you know, where you can like set the weapon, like weapon racks.
Yeah.
Like weapon and armor racks, and you can see all those like displayed around. So it's kind of like an outdoorsman or something like that. Like you can walk in and you can pick things up and like look at the gear, look at the, you know.
I'm gonna feel like a little disappointed that this place closed down. Just like this little mom and pop place that probably worked really hard and respected and took good care of their stuff, and you have this place which probably has fine materials, but it's just like it's gimmicky, which just makes it disappointing to me.
Soulless.
Yeah, gimmicky.
Axel, do you look at the weapons?
Yeah, I'll look. I'll go around and I'll
Roll a
eye for
d20 for me,
sharpness.
and add your. Oh God, how do I want to do this? Like add your modifier for. Man, how would I do this? Because you're kind of like proficient in. I remember you had that trait that made you like you were able to look at weapons and determine their value. Do you need to roll for that, or is that just time spent?
That's just time spent.
Okay, we'll say with time spent, and then roll a d20 for me. Just a d20.
10.
Okay. We'll say over time, and with 10, you're not able to glance at like a ton of stuff in the store, but you're able to get kind of a feel. The first sword you pick up, at a glance, just, to Nova, to you, you're like, this looks like a really, really good sword. It looks really fucking sharp. Actually, you pick it up, and it's like when you go to those, like the gas stations out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they have like those cases of all the knives, and you buy a knife from them and it breaks like 2 seconds later.
Yeah. Fucking
know-
window hanger.
In
Exactly.
other words,
It was
fucking
probably
mall
3D, it
ninja
was 3D
shit.
printed.
Yeah, you pick the sword up, and Nova's like, "That's a good sword. Like that looks really good, and for a price, that's a steal." You pick it up, and the hilt where it attaches to the sword piece, you can like freely almost fucking move the whole thing around, and you're like, you can almost pull the whole like sword piece apart and make it like two pieces.
Isn't that
And you're
called
kinda
like
like-
full tang, where like the metal goes all the way through the hilt?
Yeah.
In this case, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
No. And you're like, you kind of like disgusted, and you put it back together, and when you put it back together, the hilt like snaps in two. Like it like comes apart, like it almost looks like it was glued together instead of like fashioned for the sword. Like actually time was
inlaid.
spent. Yeah. And you're just, did somebody sneeze? And if it did, excuse you. Bless you.
No, that was the door opening.
Oh, fair enough.
Bless you, door.
Bless you, door. But you like hold the hilt in your hand, and the hilt like splits, and you're like, the fuck is this? It's glued together. It's not even made. And you kind of like squeeze it back together and like set the sword down, disgusted. You walk over to a pair of a studded leather armor, and at first glance, it looks incredibly nice, and like it has like painted textures on one side that gives it kind of like a dragon scale look, and on the other side it has like this wave ripple, and it says ocean enchanted dragon mail armor, allows for deep water breathing and strength of a dragon. And you're like, the fuck is this? And you kind of like lean in and like take your finger and like you rub it along like the scales like that look like dragon scale, and they start like flaking off.
Fucking Party City Halloween
And
costume.
and you're just like, and you kind of get irritated. Like you get really irritated. Being who you are, you're just like, the fuck is this shit? And just to test it, because you want to see if it's like studded like leather or dragon scale or whatever it is, you kind of like put it in your fingers and you move it around a little bit, and the armor like separates.
The
And
studs just come like right out
Yeah.
of the leather. They're not even
Yeah.
fastened correctly.
It's like it's almost like a blacksmith's leather, like the leather chest piece like that they use when they're fucking sculpting shit, and somebody like glued like studded leather on top of it.
Oh my
And
God.
then glued chainmail on top of that.
It's like when something's gold plated. It's not
Man,
actually gold,
this shit
it's
is
gold plated. This
garbage.
isn't actually studded leather. This is just like studded
If
leather
yeah,
on top of not.
it's
studded
like if
leather.
you were to go and don't get me wrong, I hate fucking clothes and shopping in certain places, but it's like if you were to go get like a Dolce & Gabbana purse and you expected it to be a Dolce & Gabbana
It was a
or
knockoff.
whatever the hell, and instead you're going to Dollar General.
Lovely.
Yeah. And you're touching and picking up things and they're like under a normal person's grasp or like the way they mess with it, they probably wouldn't discover this for a period of time, but you know where and how to fuck with certain things to see the quality of a sword. You know that if you hold the sword and you swing it really good, your fucking hilt shouldn't come apart.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like armor, like a tough set of armor, like you need to oil your leather armor to make sure it continues to be good. So you know that like if you take an armor and you like move it around, it's not gonna move because it's all one fucking piece. Whereas this is like 3 pieces, and it's not even studded leather armor. And you're probably also getting the gist if you were to bring a magician in here, it's probably not even enchanted right. So you're getting the gist that like some of the stuff in here might be legit because there's no other option. So like everybody probably comes here to sell their wares, but you get a gist that probably not everything is as legit as they say it is, and probably worse. Because this is like the main floor that you're on. There's general items that are like bargain. There's a whole fucking rack that's literally like bargain, 50% off, bargain. And you like walk over and you grab like 2 items. Like you grab like a fucking knife.
Going out of
and then-
business sale.
Yeah, and you grab the knife and like you're like, oh, a knife. Well, it's a knife. I can fuck yeah for like 50 silver. Hell yeah. And you like you touch the end of it. It's dull for 1, and 2, you press on it and it's almost like rubber and the whole knife like moves. And you're just like, the fuck is this?
This ain't a knife. That's
This
a
is a
knife.
But yeah, like there's the main floor that you're on. A lot of the stuff that you play and mess with is janky as shit. They do have behind the main counter that there are some items that are like displayed up on the wall that might be legit. You're not 100% though. Excuse me, sir. I see you testing our fine wares. Is there anything that I can help you find or do? As a tiny gnomish individual with dark jet black hair, pulled back into a ponytail with like a little like top hat thing on, and he's wearing like his work attire, like it's all this bright yellow with like green stripes on it, and it says like Vivex blade, and it has like a giant blade runs across the front of it, and this like hat that comes to like a little point with a feather on it. And you look around, you see like 6 or 7 other individuals running around the store with this like stupid fucking feather on.
I'm gonna scoff and walk away.
She does not seem to appreciate the wares that are here. How about you, my fine sir? You look like a gnoll who knows his business.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
So then I shall show you to the finer wares. You're just on the general floor. You're looking for the true weapons. That would be floor 2, sir.
Is that so? If I may ask, who's the main blacksmith here?
That would be...
You gotta wait for the dude to pull out his notepad to remember who runs the place.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You see this little guy like flipping through his notepad. Who's the blacksmith here? Who is he?
That would be...
There's so many employees at this place, he can't keep track of them all.
That would be, the owner's wife, Della.
Oh shit.
I see, and
Why is all this stuff so dog shit?
Piece of shit!
Yeah, I just have one question for the guy. Why is your stuff so dog shit?
Excuse
No,
me.
no.
I know. I'm
I
just
walked
kidding.
away. I walked away.
Care to explain why all your wares are crap?
I see. And she made all of the stuff down here?
We do have things that are sold to us, and the owner makes appraisals, and he makes upfits to them. He makes them better. Oldman runned it. He knows his way around a thing.
A thing.
Right. Okay, yeah, just show me to the second floor.
Follow me, sir. And he turns around and you see like this. As he like leads you up, you're kind of just like, for every like 10 steps he takes, you take like one full step. And you're just like, like you turn around, Gnome, and you watch this like little gnome like making these like little pitter patters along, and like every like 2 seconds, Axel's like, he just like
One
looks
step.
really annoyed.
one
Really
step at a
annoyed.
time because this guy's walking little legs. I'm just gonna literally just kind of roll my eyes at this whole thing, but I'm just gonna kind of walk around still on the first floor and just peek at everything.
So is it your first time in Vivex Blade? Also, I don't know if you saw the signs coming in, but everything is magically monitored here, so no stealing of items, please. Obviously, I know the wares are very tempting to take, but we do have little things up here to make sure that nothing is stolen. Not that we don't trust you. You will look like a very trusting individual, if I do say so myself.
Is he talking to
but-
me or to Axel?
Oh, he's talking straight to Axel.
Okay, good, because I wasn't sure if somebody approached me or something.
Yeah, I didn't intend to. I respect the blacksmith's will.
Very good. A man of the blade. Honor, and all that. Of course. But they'll take you up to the second floor. He takes you to this little floor, and he kind of stands, and all of a sudden the floor begins to move, and brings you up to a second floor. What you notice is a pair of basically like planks that are kind of like it's an escalator except for like really janky. It's like wood steps that are overlapping each other, but you can hear kind of the hiss of steam and gears that seem to be moving underneath your feet. But you are brought up to a second floor, and you do see things that look of better quality. The prices go up a decent amount, and I would say it's like 50-50. There's stuff that are still kind of on weapon racks or on tables, but a lot more of the stuff is kind of behind like a glass table and or up behind up behind like a counter, like a counter, and then you see like 2 or 3 individuals that are just standing there. It looks like their whole job is to take stuff down, hand it to you, and then immediately take it back and put it back up after you're done using it. Do you need any help? Do you know what you're looking for? Is there anything that I can help you with?
So, what's the main difference between this floor and the last one?
That is everything that the blacksmith didn't quite get correctly. And we like to make sure that our customers have the ability to get all forms and tiers for a price that they can afford. This is more of the adventurer with little more money.
You're selling defects on the bottom floor?
I would not say defects. They're not as sharp. Or a piece of armor might be a little more worn. It comes in as a used piece. So, we want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance at adventuring. It's just not everybody can afford brand new. We don't sell anything defect here.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll look around here for a little bit.
Well, My name is Damon, so if you need anything, you let Damon know.
Yeah, will do.
My pleasure. And remember, Vivex blade is the only blade. And he like turns around and waltzes off. His throat. All right.
So they had to they invested their marketing not in creating a good tagline, but in other means of attracting attention.
I never said
Literally.
that.
Why would you blend in when you can blend out? This is totally a place owned by Bobo.
You don't know that.
Could be, honestly.
100%.
No.
Gimmicky,
Once,
loud,
Bobo don't fuck
gaudy.
around with shit ass weaponry
No,
and
but this
items.
whole place is gaudy and tacky
maybe.
and gimmicky.
Once he's gone completely, I'll turn it over and say, I
He
don't get
does
it.
like to be surrounded by beautiful creatures.
Are you still on the second floor?
Yeah, I was gonna say more knows firsthand, but Bobo likes to fuck around with.
Is Axel on the second floor still or the first floor?
Yeah.
Second floor.
Oh, I'm still on the first floor.
Oh, right, I forgot. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'll spend a little bit looking around instead.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
22.
A lot of the items that are out for you that you can grab and play with are your basic adventuring items. They're like uncommon, common type items, and they're like double the price. Like, you know, like your +1 swords, your, you know, little tiny things, but they're like double and triple the price of what you would normally pay. I will say, yeah, that's pretty much what you're able to pick up off of that. The armor is incredibly basic. There's still some stuff up here that's been like pieces of armor, like studded armor, like +1 type stuff or whatever, and they've painted to make it look pretty.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Axel's just like, no.
He's physically hurting from the lack of quality in this shop.
Literally.
Do you go up to the main counter to to ask to touch some of the bigger items?
Sure.
Oh, what would you like us to hand you, sir? We have a broadsword here. We have a short sword. We have a slingshot. We have this whip over here. We have a shield over here that, you know, it's mighty fine. It's got like a, what looks to be like a dragon's, like a dragon's skull that's embedded on the front of the shield. The short sword is kind of like it's short sword, but it's like jagged and comes to like a scimitar. It comes back into a turn, and at the edge of the turn, it has like a what's the word? Almost like another blade on the end of it that looks to be stored for some reason. The broadsword comes to a hilt, and from this distance you can't quite see it, but it looks like there's a line that runs down the center of it.
The broadsword, if you don't mind.
Of course. This is the broadsword of splitting. And he grabs the broadsword and hands it over to you. It's a +2 to attack. Well, not +2 attack. It's sharper than your normal broadsword. Cleaves a man in two. It is called the broadsword of splitting because once attuned to it, the sword can actually split into two swords and does double the damage.
Man's broke the fourth wall there for a second.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Shut your mouth. Magically, I will give you this one piece. Roll an intelligence check for me.
Okay.
This is just something I kind of
Where are you? There you are.
just because it's a weapon.
Ugh,
Yeah.
3.
Okay. Something seems off about the sword. You're not really sure. But one big thing that when you're holding the sword, and you're like, sword of splitting. What the fuck is that? And you're like looking at the broadsword, and you're like holding it in front of you, and you're like turning it in your hands, and you're like looking at it. And you put it up close to your face because you're like, I have never, like a sword that splits in two. What the fuck? You look at it. It's a broadsword. But the longer you look at it, the more you realize they took a chisel straight down the center of the sword and just split it into two swords and then pieced it back together.
It's literally a sword cut in half.
Correct.
These
Just
people
double the
suck. How are they
damage.
still in? How are they in business?
Double the damage.
And when a +2, the sharper sword, you're looking at it and you're like, that's dull as fuck. And when you not dull as fuck, it's too sharp. It's not a battle edge. It looks like somebody literally made it to a razor blade. You know the moment you hit anything with it, the sword's gonna fucking shatter.
So the blade itself is too thin.
Correct. And they split it down the center.
Yeah, that's way to wreck the structural integrity of the blade.
You also know with enough knowledge that any magical sword, you're not doing that to.
Axel's like internally fuming at this moment.
Yeah.
Double damage. Okay, that's not how that theoretically. Okay, yeah.
What?
eh,
Of
eh,
course it is, sir. It was created right here and enchanted by our finest magicians.
That's not how. Anyway, yeah, you can have it back.
Of course, obviously, a little too rich for you. I get it. A lot of people that come up here, they have issues as well. We understand. And they place it up here. Is there anything else you would like to see?
This hurts my soul.
No.
How about this short sword? This might be more in your price range. It's only 150 gold. Check this out. And she hands you the scimitar.
Boy.
She hands you
Yeah.
the scimitar. And you're holding it and you're like,
boy.
you're like, that's not too bad. And you kind of like rotate the scimitar in your hand and you're like, what the fuck is that noise? And as you rotate the scimitar again, you hear it. And it's kind of like metal on metal. Like somebody's like or like, like you're doing like like you're slashing sword on sword. And you're like, what the fuck? And then you like turn it over again and you realize at the tip of the scimitar, they bolted a smaller blade in the end of the scimitar, and you're like, what? And you take it and you kind of like go like this, and a little blade spins on the end of the scimitar, and you're like, oh fuck this.
And they just drilled right through the blade?
Yeah, it's like they what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a bolt, but a like a rivet. Like they riveted it.
Oh my
So it's like free spinning, and you can see it where they riveted at the end of the blade, like almost like its weakest portion. They riveted through it and then put the small little shitty blade. It's like this big at the end of the blade, and the only way you can move it is by going like this.
This is just sounding like every mall ninja gadget on
Yeah.
like on Amazon for like
And you're-
$30.
Yeah, and you're standing there and you're just like, and it's like spinning, and they're like, what do you think, sir? That right there, you catch your enemy at the edge of your blade, and then you spin it, and they can go even farther. It keeps them at a distance. It's called the blade of slashing.
No, that's not at all how that would work. If you try and stab someone with the smaller blade, it'll just tilt out of correct edge alignment.
Oh no, you just spin it correctly, and it locks into place and makes it longer.
It's on a freely spinning axis.
Sir, you don't understand. Let me show you.
You
She
don't
takes
understand.
And she takes it and like 10 tries, and you watch, and all of a sudden she finally tilts the blade a little bit. See, look, it's longer now.
God.
That's not even combat applicable.
You know what, sir? I think this blade is beyond your means. And she places it back
She's
up on the
getting
wall.
pissed at you because you're right. She's getting pissed at you because you're right. Oh,
You know
my
what? You look like somebody who's more on the defensive. It's fine.
No, I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to see
She
anymore.
starts to hand you the shield, and you don't even touch it. You look at the shield. This is called the shield of dragon's breath. And you look at it, and before she even hands you it, the fucking skull isn't a dragon skull. It looks like it's a dog skull, and somebody put horns on it. And then they fucking glued it to the front of the shield, and then drilled a hole through where the dragon's mouth is. It's like a hole about that big, like baseball. And they drilled like through where the mouth is, and the mouth's open. And they drilled through it, and you see on the other side, there looks to be like a gun or a canister or something like that they've attached on the inside of the shield, and you're just like instantly, you're just like,
This is just a
What is
shitty
the
lantern
point?
shield.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
like, what's
and
the
you're-
point of this? This is not. This
Yeah.
doesn't do
Which
anything in
the
combat.
which the lantern shield was already kind of a piece of shit
It's
novelty
fucking
invention.
gimmicky. You just like you walk up to battle and you're trying to intimidate your enemies, and you make the flame, do fires, or you make the shield do fire stuff. But like in battle, you're not gonna get shit out of
this
that.
shield blocks all incoming fire damage. Looking at it, no, it doesn't. This shield blocks all fire damage incoming. It creates a bulwark for you and your party members. And when you've created the ultimate defense, what do? You strike back with fire.
This sounds like Gnome Depot.
Let me let me
No,
demonstrate.
You don't need to demonstrate. You don't
I
need to
would
demonstrate.
demonstrate. And she takes the shield, and you like see her finicking with something, and you watch her like take something out of her pocket, and she's just like, and like striking something, and all of a sudden, and it's like a little it's like a foot and a half, like a little flame comes out the end. That was only a test. Oh, you don't want to do the full thing, of course. I would light the whole store on fire. She puts it back up on the wall, and then you can see the shield's damaged a little bit for where she set it off.
All right. I think I've seen enough.
Of course. Do you want to head to the third floor, or do you need to go back to the first floor? Is it too expensive up here? Or how can we help you, sir?
Oh, what could be on the third floor? Please enlighten me.
Well, obviously, we have to make sure you have the proper coin. We do not want to waste our time. Are you able to pay in the upwards of the 500, 600, 700 gold price range?
The
Not at the moment,
The salesman
no.
who's been wasting the actual time for the last half an hour to be like, we don't want you wasting our time.
Oh yeah.
No, man,
I
I'll
don't-
pay
I
you
don't-
to let me leave. Thank you.
Waste his time 2023.
I don't mean to be that bearer of bad news, sir, but unfortunately that floor is reserved for our high spenders and those individuals that are looking for our finest wares and understand the complexity of our equipment.
Yeah, I understand. I think I'm ready to leave.
Understandable, sir. We will escort you back down to the first floor where you're able to afford things. Not a problem.
Bitch. Boy,
Fish.
Bitch.
what a bitch.
This woman's the worst.
There's no one
As you-
lasting say.
as you
no
turn-
defects
as you-
at Vivex Blade.
As you turn around and begin to make your back towards the store with your make a perception check for me.
Yeah.
Oh
20.
yeah, you hear them. You hear her turn to the other gnome behind the counter. I don't know what it is with these individuals lately that have been led up to the first floor, but it's like they just can't afford anything these days. They just don't understand. Well, you know what they say. A dog can never pay.
I'm just heading down.
You hand back down to the first floor, and you find Nova surrounded by 2 gnome individuals with the little feather caps, and they're trying to sell her knives and other little small cutlery, like support items, and telling her how pretty she is and how she really actually shouldn't be adventuring because adventuring is made for the men, and how they should probably they could show her to a place where she could get a really nice dress to make her form more accentuated. And the other gnome next to her is trying to sell her candies and other little confectionery items, and telling her that she shouldn't stand for too long and sulk with that face, because sulking with that face will ruin your image. And let's come over here and sit down.
You know that thing you do, like when you look down and you see something really disgusting and you pull your hands up to your chest and are just kind of recoiling as you're standing? I literally am physically recoiling in my stance right now as I'm looking at these people.
Yeah, Nova looks real pissed, like real pissed. And she's not having a good time, and these individuals are not getting it.
Boy. Legit.
Ma'am, what I'm trying to tell you is that standing on your feet for too long can cause great discomfort and make somebody of your fine beauty. It just takes away from it. It makes you, pardon me, but it makes you more sulky and bitchy.
Damn.
God!
These motherfuckers are shameless.
I'm gonna literally gasp at him and be like, I'm not a porcelain doll.
Of course you are not, ma'am. We're not telling you that you're porcelain. We're telling you that someone of your complexity and curviness shouldn't be adventuring. You should be showing. Go spend your money. You know what? I have itchy, you think it's a girl? It might be a boy. You're not sure. It's kind of a mixture. What I'm telling you is my cousin Eduardo, he could make the finest dress for you. The finest. That would really accentuate your looks. It would make your breast pop. So
I'm literally gonna, as he's saying these words to me, I'm gonna be mouthing them. You know, not saying them, but so he said curvy or curves. I'm gonna mouth the word at him as he's saying them to me, or accentuate your breasts. I'm gonna mouth the word breasts.
just
just a complete surprise.
I'm literally flabbergasted right now.
So, excuse me one moment. If I could get the measurements, I could send them off to him. And he begins to kind of get down and hold up against your legs, and he's touching your back thigh.
I'm swat his hand.
I'm just trying to help you.
I didn't ask for help.
No, you didn't ask. You look it.
Oh my god, shit, I can't fucking with this guy, swear to God.
Smack this bitch upside the face.
Oh my god.
Get his ass.
you look it.
Nova is a light blue. Usually, Axel, you come down, she's turning a pretty good red at this point. As you come down the bottom of the escalator, and you come down into this whatever
She's
the
about
fuck
as,
this
she's
is.
about as red as someone who's biologically blue can be.
You see one of the individuals is kind of backed up, and he's smiling and nodding and holding things out for her to look at and examine. And you see this other one sliding his hand up her back thigh, and she swats it, and he just steps back, and you see him say something, and then she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, literally that exactly.
Yeah. And you just see this conversation happening from a distance, and you're getting close enough now where you're starting to pick up and you're starting to hear it, and you just hear, "You look it. I'm not telling you that you're ugly. I'm telling you that you need to figure out and make those items pop for you." Here at Vivex Blade, we are here for the customer, and I am here for you.
The customer first mentality. Be customer obsessed, Ginge.
You got it.
Oh god. I'm literally horrified at what he's saying to me. There's nothing wrong with what I'm wearing. This is what I for what we. I'm like lost for words trying to explain myself.
Gentlemen. Please leave this fine lady alone. She's come into my establishment looking to buy wares. Obviously confused, and you're berating her with clothes and other items that she does not need. Good evening, ma'am. And you see this short-haired, actually very good-looking,
Oh, did I freeze or did you guys freeze?
At all today, so.
There we go.
perfect.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Sorry.
What-
So you
what
said
hasn't happened?
Ginge. So when you came in, the guy you said I left off with you telling me that he was good looking, and then I froze, I think.
Okay, so good-looking male gnome, shaved, kind of really short sides, very long hair on top, and it comes down and it's like flipped over to the one side, but it comes and kind of does like a wave and then a flip. It's very like a clean look. He's got 2 piercings, two like gold hoops with diamonds that dangle on the end of them, on both ears. He's got a small tattoo that kind of runs down the side of the neck and then down underneath the shirt. He's got a like very white dressed up shirt with a red vest, and like the red vest has got embroidered into it like dark red roses that run the whole vest. He's wearing like black pinstripe pants with really pointy shoes, dress shoes. Very clean, very well done up individual. And he walks up to you and kind of grabs the tips of your fingers, hands, and leans forward and kisses them. And good evening. I am the owner of this establishment, Ulderman Rundit the Third. I noticed that you'd come into my establishment and you really weren't sure what you were looking for or what you wanted. So, unfortunately, we're a little too good at our job, and my 2 associates here, they're just trying to make sure that you are well taken care of. Get out of here right now. The lady doesn't want you around. Is there anything that I could do to assist you?
I don't think there's anything here that I need.
Ah, and that is fine. I believe that's what one of my associates was trying to touch on. You would look quite fine in a gold-trimmed dress. I could send down to one of my tailors and meet you down there if that works for you.
I would have no need for such finery like that.
Ah, I see. No worries. I do appreciate, and I do hope that you enjoy your business here at Vivex Blade. We do take pride in our work, as we are still a very new company, up and coming. Unfortunately, we lost out to one of our competitors, but business has been booming since then. So I do wish you a good day, and please, if you need anything else.
Just a moment.
The hell do you mean pride?
Excuse me, sir. You are very big, sir.
Yeah, the hell do you mean pride?
Excuse me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't see pride put into 70% of the shit here.
Well, I wouldn't expect somebody of your Mongol background to know the difference of a good blade versus a bad blade.
Hey!
Dang.
Hold on there, sir.
Damn.
What kind of owner of an establishment berates his customers like that?
The owner of an establishment that doesn't take shit from anybody that comes in and begins to tell me my wares are shit.
Your wares are shit.
I was nothing but polite to you, and you've come and slandered me and my business.
I didn't slander your business.
I
Neither
can see
did
by
he.
the ragtag clothes on you, the worn-out soles of your shoes, the fact that you probably haven't bathed in several days, leads me to believe that your adventures, and poor ones at that.
I'm gonna walk up close to him and look down at him. I can see by your short stature that you're compensating with your large establishment.
Excuse me, I had problems seeing through your pale skin. If you please go outside and get some sun, we'd all appreciate it.
This guy's a dickhead.
Now, if you would like to do business, I can go back to being a cordial owner of this company and you do business within here. But if you're going to continue to berate me and badmouth me, I will have you thrown out, and you will not be welcome back here.
He simply made a very truthful statement. There was no slander involved in any of it.
I do resent that, as I do know that some of our items here on the bargain floor are not in the best shape.
So you agree?
We do.
You have
That's-
equipment that is shit, so there was nothing slanderous about anything that he said.
They are not shit. They are just not taken care of as great. Some of these items are on the very, very cheap end for beginning adventurers that need to make a start. This gives them that ability.
Yeah, and you're sending those beginning adventurers out into the world with a bunch of shit that's gonna break.
Well, of
Beginning
course.
adventurers need fine equipment just as much as seasoned ones do.
You sign an agreement when you leave my business that nothing will break.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, it's true. Every adventurer here, when they purchase with us, we slap a guarantee on the end of our items.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's fine print on that guarantee.
I do not appreciate the fact that you continue to slander me and come at me. At this point, I am going to ask you to leave.
You don't need to ask me to
You,
leave because I don't want to stay here anyway. I'm gonna turn and walk
well,
out.
you're not being welcomed. Please escort these two out.
I don't
The
need to be
tall
escorted out because
fellow-
I'm already walking out.
You feel like hands kind of like touching your sides as they like kind of moving you towards the exit.
I'm gonna swat at their hands.
Wait,
as they
wait,
go.
hold on. You said you wanted to sophisticatedly talk like adults, yeah?
I always do.
I'm willing to do that. In case you didn't know, which you don't, regardless of my background, I'm a professional swordsman.
Hmm.
There's not a blade type in the world that I haven't seen at least once.
I don't believe you, but
You want to put it up to the test?
how would you say that?
Pick one item on this floor, any single item that you want, and I'll tell you what type of steel it uses and where it came from instantly.
Okay. He turned around, reaches out under the, customer-facing area bench, pulls out a weapon, and walks over, hands it to you.
And I'll attempt to use eye for sharpness on this if I can.
Is that just the one where you spend time figuring out what the weapon is and all that stuff?
Yeah. I always know the going price of any mundane piece of weaponry and often know details of its provenance, such as where and when they came from, and who and what is involved in their manufacture or procurement.
This is a sacrificial blade. It is made from iron, kind of in poor shape. It's roughly, I would say it roughly would go for like 3 or 4 gold. Right now they have it marked for about 8, maybe 9. What else recognize? It is a it is a counterfeit. One thing you notice, it is being the way that it's being made. The fake that it's being made is made to be. It's being made to match another blade, and you're not really sure what that blade is, but the etchings on it, you can tell, have all been done haphazardly and fast, and they've been, instead of forged into the blade, you can tell this blade was already made, and then somebody took like a chisel and was chiseling out like the runes or the engravements on the blade itself. Like it wasn't done properly. The hilt also looks like it was fitted after the fact. Like instead of made to fit the blade, it doesn't fit it. Like it's like a mismatch. It just doesn't feel right. The manufacturer was made in this building. You can tell by the way that it's made. You find like some initials TD on it.
Yeah, like a Smith's stamp.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird because it looks like they stamped it and realized they like, being that it's like being made to be a counterfeit or a counterfake, you can see where it was stamped. This blade was plucked maybe out of a pile somewhere, and then they tried to take the stamp off. And then they tried to hide it in an area that, not a lot of people might look, but you know enough to where to look, where people, usually smiths will hide their little works. Like it's out of sight, out of mind, but at the same time, if you know where you're looking for, you're usually going to find one. And then you can see another where they put like another Smith stamp over the top of it, and it's actually engraved BH or HB.
And
sorry.
I'll just proceed to give him the full absolute like full fucking breakdown. Not only because I want to shove it in his face, but also he kind of wants to show off to Nova. Like he just goes full, oh, this is 10.2 high iron alloy. It has a tensile strength of fucking 13.762 decibels. Like, and as he's talking about it, you can kind of see the corner of his lips curling into a smile and a bit of pride start to leak into his voice as he talks about something that he's clearly passionate about.
I'm gonna cross my arms and smirk at him as I watch
then
Axel explain.
And then all the way after he's done giving a full rundown, at the end he says, and it's also a cheap copy of the original.
You see him sit there for a moment, reaches behind the counter, takes out like a little book and flips several pages through. Might I see the blade? Hands the blade to him. He twirls it a couple times. Ah. Just what I thought. A liar and somebody who doesn't know their blades. We have this. This was made by a Harold Bean, and obviously shipped here. It's no counterfeit. This seems to be stamped by the blacksmith. So everybody, right there, his little stamp of approval. It was made in his store, and it looks to be, yes, we had to make a new pommel for it. It didn't fit correctly and it had fallen off in battle. That's why he went out of business. Harold Bean didn't make very good products, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. So we had bought this one simple dagger that seems to be made. Actually, this is made from a very good steel. It is not a metal alloy. This is not iron. This is steel.
Oh God.
Right here. We have it marked down. This was appraised by our finest smith in the back. Not some random individual here that comes off the streets claiming they know things.
I love that he's like looking around the store to show everybody like he knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, everybody is like, at this point, everybody's like watching.
Full damage control.
Yeah. But we have the blade stamp here from that smith. As you can see, BH, not TD. TD would be my wife, who works here and makes all of our finest blades. She stamps all of her things, and he picks up like another blade, turns the pommel, and like you can see, like rotates to the side. As you can see, she has marked her weapons, and we mark all of our items because we are proud here at Vivex Blade. Unlike this individual. Very cheap blade, very poorly done. You do know that the original blade that you were holding, though, Axel, is the finest thing you've held all day. Like, very, 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 very well done with a piece of cheap iron.
But that makes sense because it was done by Harold Bean, who was just like a little mom and pop place. So he made it a really good weapon with probably what he could.
But at this point, you haven't purchased anything. You've come and slandered me, back-talked me, and put me down, and then proceeded to incorrectly guess at the piece of equipment. I would so kindly ask you to leave. Just because
Yeah, I think I
I'm
will.
very generous and, just like you said, enjoy your fake piece of equipment, and he chucks the knife down at your foot. It, like, lands in the door, or, like, in the floor below you.
The blade, like, Axel just hears the blade clatter on the floor, and just knowing how much damage that does, his ears twitch in anger, and you can see him start to, like, tremble, but he's like, yeah. And he sort of picks it up gingerly. I think I will.
As you pick it up, and you're at the very bottom of the pickup, and you're like reach down, he slides quickly, Nova. You don't hear him. Slides quickly to Axel. A counterfeit for a counterfeit. Stupid dog. Now leave.
Damn,
And steps back.
this man's savage, and not in the good way.
Got him.
I'll just silently turn
Like,
around
he's
and
a
start to
fucking
walk out.
dickhead way.
I'm gonna glare. I know I didn't hear him, but I was already planning on doing this. So I'm gonna glare at him as I turn to walk out, and then speak into his mind. And he's not gonna hear a voice that he is familiar with.
You hit a wall.
Oh, that's right. You have the magical shit in here. Well, I would have attempted it and felt that wall, and then I would have just kind of.
Immediately. Strong external wall. And you're just like,
Damn, no mind linking in here? Shit. I'm just gonna be super frustrated with the fact that I couldn't tell him off in his head.
roll a perception check.
Perception check.
Is your- You're close enough that you might see it.
Hold on, perception. Where is it? 18.
The ring on his pinky glows like a really low light blue the moment you cast your spell.
Yeah, I'm gonna grumble, glare at him, and furiously turn around and walk out.
And it's like he's just kind of like scratched. Like you notice that happens when you go to like mind link with him. He's like scratching his forehead, smiling at Axel, and you leave, and you kind of like turn to talk to him, and he watches like the little pinky ring kind of lights up for just like a split second, and then turns off.
Fucker. Walking out.
Bastard.
You have exited the building, getting a lot of looks from a lot of people and sneers and kind of like people turning and giggling and talk. Like you hear whispers.
Man, fuck these
I'm
people.
gonna like shout at all the people that are chattering near us. Have fun buying all your cheap gimmicky shit in there. I'm just gonna be like stomping as I leave the building, and I'm gonna turn to Axel. What a bunch of garbage.
He's sort of like examining the dagger, just trying to see if there's any damages on it. As
None.
he's walking.
Yeah. Incredibly. The pommel, like the hilt, absolute garbage. Like absolute dog shit. But the like the small blade, the knife itself, incredibly well made. Like incredibly well made. As you pick it up, even after you threw it on the ground and it like skidded, no scrapes, no marks, no nothing. Polished and sharp.
And as he said it to me, sort of just shakes his head like, How could anyone passionate about blacksmithing treat a blade like that?
That's easy. He's not passionate about it. He's just trying to make a buck. It's unfortunate. Especially because somebody had to go out of business for it. Somebody that was clearly passionate about what they did.
As you exit into the main street, the lights kind of dying down. You see up above the dome, like in the main city, and the first ring, kind of like the Metrodome, like the football stadiums. You see as the roof begins to close, and all of a sudden, through tiny, tiny, tiny holes in the top of this cavern, like everybody stops and everybody looks up, and it's almost like an event. There's constellations in the ceiling.
Ooh,
Ooh.
cool.
And then the moment it closes and everybody stands there for another second, everybody continues on their way.
I'll probably look up and admire it for a minute.
It's gorgeous. But at that moment, when all the lights go down and like the constellations pop up, and like there's like dust that gets knocked up from like where the cave entrance closed, so it creates like these weird clouds as well. You see all of the street lights immediately. So you hear like this, and like a hiss, and all the street lights begin to down the way.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna sigh, look at Axel again. Well, that was eventful. You ready to head back to the inn?
Yeah, I guess we spent a lot of time there, didn't we?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Kind of wasted. But at least we know what we're dealing with that place. I'm gonna start walking back towards the tram that takes us back to the west side, east side, and I can't remember the Drake's Wing where that was.
What's east side?
East side. East side.
East side, yeah.
Same side
East
as
side.
Beanworks.
Correct. You guys begin to make your way back towards the tram. You guys pass by the temple again.
Oh no! Shit! I
And-
forgot about that.
Sitting out front on a old stool, drinking out of a tiny little jug, is the older Knoll individual with a cane propped over his, like, next to his leg, and he's just hunched over, and he's like this kind of lanky individual, and he's like kind of hunched a little bit.
Is he still on the inside side of the fenced area or outside?
Outside, he's just kind of sitting on the edge of the gate.
Jesus.
I'm gonna not look at him and not attempt to read his mind this time, and I'm just gonna keep looking forward. I'm gonna link my arm with Axel's and keep walking.
You know, somebody as young as you has a lot of anger. You should learn to harness that.
God, he's fucking creepy!
Axel stops dead in his tracks.
And
You probably like yanks Nova since they're linked arms. He accidentally yanks her because
you're like 15 feet from this guy.
Yeah, I'll get kind of like yanked and
You have-
pulled back towards him and be like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're able to get a real good look at him if you want to. You're like 15 feet from him.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. You turn and look. What you notice is an old Knoll. Old. Kind of lanky. He has the same build that... One second. One. It's the same. I just had it on top of my head too. Omira. On Hammer. Boy Aaron. Sorry, here we go. He has the same build as like members of the Burning Blades. So the gnolls that were basically had like given into the hunger and were very primalistic individuals, unlike, yours, the Desert Corsairs. You guys were a little more, I mean, not a little more, you guys were organized and calmer, I guess you could say. Like you weren't battling that hunger. But he has that same kind of like lanky build. You guys are more, you guys tend to stand up more, and good night.
Night.
Good night. You guys stand up more. You guys kind of walk bipedal, stand up more. You guys have more humanistic features, the way you guys talk and walk, whereas Burning Blades are a little more on that, like they speak almost like Southern, like they speak in like shorter terms and vowels, and they're a little more on the angry side. But he has that same build. And as you look at him close, I would say at this distance you'd notice it. On the right pec, just like right at the collarbone, he does have like a burn, like a fire sigil, like burned into his skin. That seems to be kind of faded, and the hair let to grow over a little bit, and he kind of like pulls the shirt over it a little bit. His eyes are both closed. He has heavy scarring over both eyes. As far as you can tell, he looks to be blind. He is missing the tip of his right ear, and the dark black fur is more of a salt and pepper look, and grayed out and white. The chest is heavily scarred with big lacerations, and he has a cane that he's propped up against his right leg, and he looks to be missing one or two of his toes on each foot.
I'll unlink my arm from Nova's and turn fully towards him. What did you say?
You heard me, pup. You're angry. You should channel that.
No.
Yes.
I no.
You're weak.
No, I'm not.
Ah. You can get the best of both worlds. By knowing how to talk to both sides, you draw strength. By living your falsehood and acting not as a gnoll, but as a human.
Is it
You
possible
walk
to
up-
learn these powers?
You walk bipedal. You talk and you act as if you are not savage. But that's what makes us different. We're a little bit of both.
He kind of takes a step or two back, and you see that sort of PTSD showing up again. I refuse to rely on my demonic heritage ever again. Swordsmanship has gotten me this far. It can get me anywhere that I want to be.
If I notice that Axel is recoiling, I'm gonna stand in front of him and look at him and say, hey, let's just go. We don't need to talk to him. I'm gonna kind of grab your arm and try and pull you to keep walking.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night?
Hush up, you! I'm gonna keep
You
pulling
feel
Axel.
hungry. Control it before it controls you.
He's just sort of letting himself be pulled along as he stares a 1,000-yard stare ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep pulling him away.
When you're almost out of earshot, you hear almost like a low grumble. Sweet dreams. As you wait for the tram shows, you board, heading back to the Drake's Wing. Do you want to talk about anything on the way back, or just wait till you get back?
I mean, I'd ask. I'd kind of like very gently kind of look at him and... You okay?
He's sort of staring at one of his own open palms, like... I think so.
We don't even know that guy. He's obviously crazy or something. I wouldn't even pay any attention to what he said.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna rub his arm comfortingly. Don't think about it.
I'll try not to.
And then I'll just wait for the tram to get to our place. I realize we kind of stole the spotlight. Sorry, guys. Sorry!
That's kind of where we left off the last time. So the train ride takes you back to the Drake's Wing. You immediately pull into station exit, make your way towards the building. The rest of the party, is there anything that you guys wanted to do in the meantime while all of that was kind of happening, or are you just kind of waiting for the whole party to meet up? You can't hear you. Patience, you're muted.
Literally everyone else is muted.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know about you, Michael, but I was thinking like we're just kind of heading back, unless something happens on the train.
Yeah, I was just heading back.
Okay, so the rest of the party, you kind of arrived earlier, met up, and you guys found a table. You guys sat down, began to kind of have drinks, relax, take your mind off of the day and the things that have happened. Some members losing a decent chunk of money and, kind of sucking it up there. KB, you kind of made like a weird little expedition and came back with really nothing to show for it. So you kind of sitting there sipping on your drinks. During that time, you guys would hear conversations throughout the bars of kind of the happenings of Radar. You hear talk of the city of Krawlers is kind of making, the military is making weird movements and running drills. You hear of large imports of Tellarite. You hear more weaponry is being moved towards Voyaris. You hear talks of a couple of high-ranking nobles throughout the kingdom, or not nobles, sorry, merchants, have disappeared. They got sick, and in between getting sick, they just disappeared, and nobody has heard from them since. Also, the small town in between Zaire and Balin's outpost, kind of a traveling nomad group, has not been seen for in about 3 or 4 weeks. And they were kind of known for, picking things up through the desert and selling them for a decent price, and sometimes good things can be found out there, and they haven't been seen from or heard from in a while. You also hear the city of Voyaris caught up to the moving city of Baeris. Hold on, yeah, Baeris. And there was a battle that ensued about 2 days ago. With the Voyaris's city guard losing like a quarter of their members, trying to catch the city. At that moment, kind of after all the conversations and sitting around, several moments later, Axel and Nova, they walk in. And you see the group kind of sitting around the main table in the main sitting area.
You guys can feel free to chime in.
I mean,
So
I
there we
would've-
were, and the freaking blue team got by us and scored at the last freaking second. Just didn't have enough time to get another goal in. Ah, bullshit, I tell you.
Sophia has a gloomy face next to her.
Well, you know what they say. Your team never loses. They just sometimes run out of time.
Yeah, that was definitely the case.
Another ism.
And I
Tell
told
that to the dwarf that took our money.
I should have gone with my first instincts and bet on blue. But
It went to full odds though. You would have made nothing back. You were
I
so
don't know.
close.
Just been fun to, you know, throw some money away. Never tell
Well,
me
you-
the odds.
Guess
Well,
next
you-
time I'll draw exactly what I want to see.
Your first instinct wasn't to bet on blue, right? Your first instinct was trust your partner.
Yeah.
Probably a good bet, even if you lost today.
Nah, it's probably gonna be the last time I do that. Smile sort of cheekily. Oh, hey, you guys are back. Gesturing to Nova and Axel.
I'll
Where did you guys? Where were you guys at?
we were just checking out the blacksmiths around the area.
Oh, did you go to that one that we heard put the others out of business?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend even bothering with that place. Unless you want to buy a bunch
Uh-oh.
of cheap junk.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have much use for anything that they'd have anyway. You know, I prefer fighting with these.
Yeah, even if you didn't, I wouldn't recommend it.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, that bad.
Oy.
You're better off finding a stick outside and using that.
So how can this store have put all the others out of business?
Probably because they're so cheap.
AB hasn't heard of Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in there is just so cheap. They sell it for practically nothing, and it's really hard to compete with that, even though it's not even near the quality.
Well, why are people buying cheap garbage?
Probably because they don't know better.
Like, if they're using it for, you know, fighting stuff, that could get a lot of people killed.
Yeah, that was my point. They don't seem to care about that, though. They just want to make their quick buck and put up their big lights and their big gaudy signs and...
The
That's
problem isn't,
And big
excuse me.
and
the
big titty
problem-
bitches.
Sir, the problem, ma'am, the problem isn't, they got bought out. Hale Bean got bought out.
Bought out?
Yeah.
Oh, so he wasn't put out of business, he was bought?
He was, well, there's rumors, but, everybody thinks that he got bought out. Something happened. He lost something, and Nobody knows.
He was extorted in some way into closing his shop. You're saying?
I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say though, cause I'm not gonna get shot. So you have a good day. I'ma go back over here.
I'm gonna do detect thoughts on him as he's walking away.
And I said too much. Fuck, fuckity fuck. I need to stop drinking.
Yeah, who the hell is this guy?
Oh, nice. So I got that he said too much in his head?
Yeah. Yeah.
Peculiar. I'll probably be like occasionally
What
glancing.
the fuck? And you hear like a glass gets sloshed across the table, and like a bunch of food falls to the floor. John, you keep serving this bread with the fucking flowers in it. I don't fucking know. I just make the food and I don't know. I don't put no fucking flowers in that shit. Well, I'll pick around it. That's fine. You just keep making your shitty fucking food.
Flowers.
You watch him pick the food back up and takes like a couple more bites, and like he picks picks this like flower out and like tosses it kind of off the side, and it's got like some really weird looking roots on it, and he like tosses it and continues eating the food.
He's probably trying to make artisanal bread. And he's like, oh, I'm gonna put flowers in it. It's gonna make it fancy.
Yeah, put some flowers and some nuts and some flaxseed.
Flaxseed.
I'll probably be occasionally glancing at Axel while I'm talking with everybody. Not my cheery self, just because I'm concerned about him.
He entered silently, he sat down at the table silently, and now he's just staring at the table silently.
Yeah, I'll probably just keep looking at him.
Damn, we must be fighting over the bread right now. This music.
I don't even hear
Oh
the
shit,
root.
it moved. Hold on. I just had it on this dwarven city loop. I'm gonna mind link with Axel and say, do you want to talk about anything? I hate to see you like this.
I'm sure I'll be fine tomorrow. It's just that guy got in my head.
Yeah, I can tell. But I don't want it to sit and eat at you, if it would make you feel better to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe when we're up in our room.
Alright. Is there food on the table? I know that we arrived after everybody else. Did anybody get food?
Yeah, patients would have gotten dinner for people.
Okay.
Okay, mark off like 1 silver.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap, but it's like there's 1 big loaf of bread on the center of the table, a couple bowls of soup, looks like hearty, like potatoes and other things, and there's a pitcher of beer.
I'm gonna fix a plate for Axel and kind of push it in front of him.
He looks over and he gives like a half smirk and he starts eating.
Okay. The dumplings, when you take a bite into the dumplings, you do pull out kind of this like fucking flour, like piece
Flour
of,
strikes again.
piece of flour. You bust open the bread, and it does have like, this one doesn't have a flour, but it has like kind of like these really small green roots that are running through like the center of the flour, or the bread.
Somebody needs to tell this guy not to quit his day job. Bread is not his calling.
And then one side of the bread doesn't have like the roots on it, but it's got like almost like flaxseed. Like you can see like a bunch of like really dark seedlings within the bread. But do you take a bite?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try it.
Okay, it's not bad.
Oh yeah.
Tastes normal.
As I'm eating, I'm gonna just look at everybody. So what did you guys all get up to today?
Losing money on a game.
Was it at least fun to watch? What kind of game
Oh
was
yeah, it was awesome. What? It's kind of like I don't know. They were kicking around this ball and also beating the shit out of each other. It was great.
I'm gonna
Totally on
gonna-
character there.
I'm gonna
On
pull
brand.
up one of the divination like things I had, and it's just a portrait of like a dude getting just absolutely clobbered in the face and like teeth like getting thrown out, and Sophie will just have like work on her face.
Like that.
It's like it's like a close up of the red and blue guy as he's like swinging and it's like connecting. You see the whole jaw is like moved over and like 2 teeth at the same time are flying with a big stream of blood.
I'll probably laugh at the portrait. That looks like a pretty intense game. What about
yeah,
you,
it was
KB?
a lot of fun.
Did you go see the game too?
No, I took the long way. I didn't take the tram there. Kind of wanted to see the city. I didn't find much. I saw this old knoll. Could have been your father, Axel.
Axel's like holding up like a spoon to his mouth, but it just like freezes in like mid scoop. Like,
Yeah, it was like at a temple on the way over there.
Well,
the hairs are gonna stand up on
for a little while.
The hairs are gonna stand up on the back of my neck as I hear you talk about the knoll. Yeah, what else did you see? Literally just brushing it off to move the conversation forward.
Did he look like a better fighter than Axel?
Oh God.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't. I talked to him for a little bit. He was sort of strange. Almost like he wanted to talk to me more, but also was annoyed that I was talking to him at the same time, and like he wanted to be helpful, but also didn't.
Yeah. What did you see on that side of the city? Like, what was it like over there?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, did you go to any shops or anything?
No, I just wanted to kind of take the long way to get to the match just to see if there was anything that caught my eye. But apart from this weird knoll.
Oh, and then you came back to the end, gotcha. So you just
then you came back. Yeah. So by the time I got to the match, it had already ended. So I missed it, but that was okay. I probably just would have lost some money there. So.
Yeah, it sounds like they did. So probably for the better.
Yeah, so I didn't get up to too much. If you want to go see the guy, what was weird? He told me.
No. Did you happen to find out any information about like getting to the other rings? That's what we didn't get up to that today. I'm like really curious what's on these other rings.
No, I didn't find out anything about that. The guy I talked to, it's funny.
Well, guys, we gotta go to bed.
I asked if you guys might have known
I think
him,
we have a long day
he
tomorrow.
made me feel like that was racist of me to ask that. Like
I'm literally gonna stand up as I'm literally standing up as KB's talking, and I'm gonna talk over him talking. Well, we gotta go to bed. It was been a long day, you guys. And as you can keep talking, but as you're talking, I'm gonna be like grabbing Axel's arm and pulling him away from the table. All right, everybody, have a good night.
Yeah, so he made me feel like I was insensitive for asking if they knew each other, and then he told me he already knew that Axel was here in town.
I'm gonna be pushing Axel towards the room.
Okay.
Wait, as soon as Axel hears,
you don't know each other. Yeah.
As soon as Axel hears that KB said that, like, oh, he already knew I was here despite never meeting him, it just like shivers, like you.
I'm pushing him towards the room and talking as KB's talking to try to drown out the sounds of him talking. Oh man, we have so much to see tomorrow. Man, I wonder what's on those other rings. It sounds so off limits. And yeah, good night, guys. In the distance.
I guess Axel's really upset about the quality of wares that the blacksmith.
Nah, he's just upset that he's not the biggest knoll in town anymore.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
We're literally
You know.
gone at this point, so we can't hear any of this.
I figured.
I was very hastily getting him out of there.
Yeah, so I'll just tell Patience. Say this kind of strange because he looks pretty old, but still gave off the kind of like an aura where he could still throw down if need be. You know what I mean? One of those guys. It's a little past his prime, but could still put up a fight. Had to.
I knew at least one
On the,
person like that. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Very quick on the past their prime note, because Nova would know this. Gnolls stay in the peak of their physical self until very late years, like their final years.
Ooh.
They don't show signs of aging until their very final years. They're like bred for battle.
Damn. So he's at his peak physical performance right now.
So I may be out of character misremembering, but I because it's been so long, but I feel like he was described as being older, or maybe I just pictured him that way.
He was described as
he was older, right?
Very old.
I pictured him like Splinter.
Yeah.
But like a gnoll, not a rat, right?
No, but that's
like,
pretty much it. He's hunched over. He has a cane. He walks with a little bit of a limp. He's very. I mean, he's aged.
Yeah. Okay. So, Sophia, Patience, what's the plan for tomorrow? We have a plan.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm not the best at making plans.
Yeah, I hear you. I guess we can touch base with Nova and Axel in the morning. We don't have to have a plan. Although if I don't have an agenda for the day, I'm liable to just hang out and get drunk all day, right? So,
Yeah.
It's helpful.
I don't know about the three of you, but we've been to quite a few places the last few weeks, and this one feels like the safest. And yet I feel like I feel like it's the one where we're the least welcome. I don't feel like we belong here.
Yeah, it feels the most stable, right?
I'm the most uncomfortable at the same time.
What do you mean uncomfortable?
This isn't like other cities.
Oh,
Other
no.
cities we blend in. But here we stand out. Except for maybe KB, but the two of us, I mean.
There's still a decent amount. The ring that you're on is the commerce ring, so there's still a decent amount of normals. But yeah, there's
non-dwarves.
And not just not being dwarves. I just mean I don't understand how the people here live. The other cities to me made sense. This one doesn't.
In what way?
It's just a feeling I have. I'm growing more restless anyway. I spent the first how many years of my life in one spot, and now all I want to do is go back. I need to go back. We need to go back.
Yeah. Well, I think some things need to happen first before we can go back.
We need to be stronger.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was hoping I'd find something like that in other than Kalor. That didn't turn out how I wanted.
Hmm.
I think it'll be a while before we're welcome back there. If there's
Well, I
anything
mean,
left there.
yeah, it's probably gonna be off the table as a destination for a while.
Ginge, where's the other spot the Emberlit Academy was located?
That would be. No, 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 no. Okay.
I might have it in my notes too.
Well, I mean, technically it's two. There's the there's the Amberlit Academy, which is the second largest academy, and that is in Kalor. And then you have the main.
Oh, Candle's Light.
Yeah, there we
Which
go.
is I don't have where that's located.
That is the and that's in Tyrell. Basically, up against the frozen wastes. It's kind of think of it like a Hogwarts. It's kind of like secluded from everybody. They're not their own nation, but they are their own nation per se. Like they follow the majority of the rules of Omira, but they're kind of their own sovereign state. Like it's a whole different fucking world over there. It's a magical city. Everything is magic. It is the largest academy known to like everybody. It has the world's biggest, the world's biggest library. Like if you want to research something, all the information through the world has been gathered and put there.
Yeah, I'll just turn toward patience.
We need to get stronger. But I've learned all I can from cheap books that a merchant lies lying around. I need an actual teacher.
You're muted.
I fucking.
I looked up and I was like, he's lip syncing.
Where?
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, is there someone that is there? How do we find somebody like that? You know, I feel like.
Where'd you learn your magic from, KB? Who taught you? I'm sure you told me, but it's my mind's lost it.
Well, I'd say my father taught me mostly, but he really taught me how to teach myself more than he taught me himself, if that makes sense. He taught me how to meditate and how to understand my own mind and what it can do and what it can't. So, I meditate at night to kind of better understand myself, and sometimes I can discover new things and sometimes I can't.
Huh. It kind of sounds like what I went through. I had a meditation, although more physical in nature.
Yeah.
Huh.
You need to learn your body.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I don't know. Do you meditate sitting down?
Sometimes, but not always. Just whenever you're comfortable.
Well, like, I mean, sitting still, I mean.
Yeah.
See, that never really worked for me. I had to do forms or something to, you know,
Mhm.
I had
Like
to
a like,
had to
like a
do
repetitive
something.
exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think
No, I like
I'm a little,
to I like
I'm
to
a
kind of
little,
quiet the world.
yeah. I don't know. I could just never do it sitting still. I think I'm a little better now, but even so, like, I don't know. I learned how
Like
to do
I
this form that it's almost like kind of like a slow dance in a way. Something about that just that works. You ever try something like that?
no, no, I don't think so. My father taught me when I was really young. Um, I could do things when I was really young that I could sort of control, but not that well. And
Hmm.
when he taught me to meditate, he would say that you need to ask yourself, if you want to control this ability, why do you want to do that? What do you want to do with it? Why do you feel like you need to control it better? What will you do with it once you can? And he he told me that it helps to meditate, to think about that. And the kind of method that we came up with is, whenever you leave a positive mark, on the world, or at your on your friends, or in your town, uh, to take part of that with you. So you know, when we accomplish something, I take a bit of that earth with me, and
Hmm.
at night I meditate with it, because
So that's what the
the
bag of dirt
the,
is for.
yeah, you found my dirt bag.
Uh, I don't know. I feel like I feel like I've seen it. I don't know
Oh,
if
you see me fill it? Yeah,
well,
it's a weird thing. So
that was sort of out of character. I don't remember if I had ever actually.
yeah, you maybe could have. Uh, they'll say it's a
Now the
strange
pieces are
quirk.
falling into place.
Yeah, it's a strange quirk. So I try to not be too obvious with it, but that helps me. It helps me focus, right, on what we're doing out here.
Yeah, well, you got your bag of dirt. I got my tai chi. It's all good.
Yeah, you just find a thing that centers you.
He's got a bag of dirt, and guess what's inside it? Ah, well, yeah, I don't know how much that is gonna help Sophia.
Yeah,
What do
so
you
yeah, I
think?
think you're.
I think we're just on different wavelengths with this stuff.
Well, my power comes from other things. And I don't design it myself. If I find the right words, and I'm able to I'm able to create something and make magic that way, but not if it's on my own, I can't do it.
Hmm.
And I'm nowhere closer to explaining how it happens.
Um, yeah, I think this is. I don't know exactly how this is, because again, I think it doesn't work this way for me, but I think this is what wizards call the weave. You read that before?
She'll
Sophia?
throw out. She'll pull out her like or like thread in her spool.
Isn't that what some people put in their hair?
Yeah, I think this is different. I used to work with a wizard, and she always referred to it as the weave, which is like invisible parts of the world that hold everything together, and you have to learn how to manipulate the parts of the weave that you can't see.
I don't know if I follow.
That's probably what happens when I create these images.
So you
The weave.
weave the weave?
I weave the weave. Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't read this.
So she always said that if you understand enough about how the world is, I guess, woven together, you could create your own spells, right? That were not from a book, but that you made, right? I don't know anything. I don't know much more about that, but I've heard her say it. Back in a past life when I was in her good graces.
Design your own spells.
You may need a teacher. You may be able to be your own teacher. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both.
Maybe I just haven't been reading the right books. I've read plenty on how magic works. Never come across it. This weave.
Yeah.
I'll turn toward Patience. You said there were things that needed to happen before we returned to Dollar. Do you have anything in mind?
I don't know. But maybe there might be some things that we need. Or things that we could use that we don't know of yet. Thinking like, cool stuff that we could use, magical stuff. I don't know where we'd find that though. Sounds like the biggest game in town is all show. You would think a place like this would be known for its craftsmanship. But I guess the rumors ain't true. I don't know.
Well, it's a big city. There's lots of opportunity for bullies to get rid of the competition, right?
All the cities we've been to seem to have that in common.
Yep.
That's definitely true. Dollar, not least of all.
Yeah. When plunder becomes a way of life for men, over the course of time, they create a system of rules and laws that allow them to plunder, and a moral code that justifies it.
What
and
a
then,
crock
and then
of
you,
shit.
Then you see it everywhere.
I was so proud to work myself half the street, and for many years there, I thought all I wanted was to get away from that and live how the rich lived. And when I finally got there, they're not happy, and I don't quite understand why they feel they're so much more important than the rest of us.
Nah, they just got a bunch of sticks up their asses.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, we know one in particular that definitely deserves to have that stick shoved way up there.
Nice things about nobles is their motives are always a lot clearer.
Are they?
They're always looking out
I
for
don't
themselves.
understand them. Huh. Maybe that's why. Anyway. What what can we do tomorrow? I'm thinking we set out, try to find some shops that don't sell cheap garbage.
Well,
And
we
see
may have
what
to
they've
go
got.
to the other rings to find that. Who knows?
Hmm. Yeah. Somebody's got to know. Right? I mean,
Surely.
ask around, find out where the good stuff's at.
I wonder if we could get access to the third ring.
What? I mean, what's there? Do you know?
Well, they said that the second ring is residential and where a lot of the people live, and like all cities, it's separated. But the third ring is it's where the nobles and the wealthiest live.
I mean,
I wonder if we could find there.
maybe they have shops that don't sell crap. You know, to the upper crust of the city society, I guess.
At this
I
time,
wish it wasn't so separated. Back in Dollar, it was way easier to weasel our way in and find the good stuff.
Ah, the good old days.
A separate
Feel,
ring might.
Oh.
Good.
I was gonna say, KB, go ahead and finish your sentence real quick.
I was gonna say a separate ring though kind of complicates things, but I know my way around them. We might be able to have some fun.
You feel a hand on your shoulder, KB. But with Ketty here, you're always gonna be in the shit. And you turn around, KB, to see a light green skinned goblin standing behind you, brighter blue eyes, and kind of a little shit-eating grin, dressed in dark kind of traveling clothes and a cloak with a heavy hood on it, and some really worn down sneakers and a couple bracelets and one piercing in the left ear. It is wouldn't say like old time friend, but somebody that you used to know pretty well from Malart.
I am just somebody that I used to know.
Just a friend that you used to know.
And you
Tristan.
say he's just a friend. And you say he's just a friend.
And that's where we'll end our night.
Oh.
Bum bum.
Boom, boom. Well, this is gonna be uploaded later, at some point in time.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. But for anybody watching this, thanks for hanging out and watching, enjoying with us.
I'll be back to our
And,
stream next week, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll figure this shit out. I don't know what's going on. yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 8:30 Central. Have a great weekend. Be safe, be kind. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Gotta pee.